Hey guys, I'm Kris and welcome back to another episode of the Crisscross Corner podcast. Listen to the podcast wherever you listen to your podcast, i.e. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Google Play, or Anchor. Support the podcast with a monthly subscription on Anchor, anchor.fm/crisscrosscorner/support. The Crisscross Corner is going to be whatever it's going to be because of your support. Your support helps buy equipment and most importantly allows us the time to focus on giving you the best content we can. We guarantee you'll get more than you bargained for. Your support is greatly appreciated. So again, go to anchor.fm/crisscrosscorner/support and choose your tier, $1 a month, $5 a month, or $10 a month. Again, your support is appreciated. Head on over to the merch site, shopcrisscross.com. Grab a classic hoodie before the holiday season is over. Promo code Kris for free shipping. That's KRIS in all caps for free shipping. Thank you very much. All right, so let's get into this topic that I was wanting to talk about since it happened. Hadn't had a lot of time to talk about it, but we're going to talk about it right now. We're going to talk about Oxford High School in Oxford, Michigan, about an hour north of Detroit. There was a mass shooting, and initially they said 3 people were dead. Then the day after, one of the students that was taken to the hospital died in the hospital. So the death count is now 4, and he shot many other people. So right now, I'm not going to say his name because I don't want him to get any fame or anything from this episode. But he was a 15-year-old high school student. They said that he had journals of doing this right before it happened. The counselor's office and the principals already knew that he had suspicious behavior leading up to this incident. And a really crazy coincidence is that they had a parent meeting before, like 2 hours right before this happened. So a detailed description of a quote-unquote wish to massacre classmates was on his cell phone and in a journal that this kid had. So at least one social media post pointing to elation had access to a handgun bought by his dad. That's one. And a mom who thanked Trump. I'm not going to get political, but she thanked Trump for quote unquote my right to bear arms. So that's parents, the parents aren't really there, which means the child really won't be there. And the school said that this kid has suspicious behavior. And I don't know if he was bullied or not, but he had a clear plan to execute this plan at that school that afternoon. So he left 4 students dead, 7 others, including a teacher, injured. So this is one of, and they charged him with terrorism. They think this is one of the first mass shootings where the 15-year-old student or the shooter was charged with terrorism. Okay, so let's go back a little bit more. So his parents were brought into the school the morning of the shooting for a face-to-face meeting about their son's behavior. So the parents were informed. Of course, the police won't be informed because police are called once something happens. They're not there to prevent anything. But he was a 10th grader. He was a sophomore at Oxford High School, and I've had friends who went to Oxford High School back in the day. Not now, but back in the day. So once that happened at Oxford High School, I was like, oh snap. But I was like, oh, my friends don't go there anymore. But that's not to say that I feel for all the parents, the kids, and the relatives of the kids who passed away that day, the kids who have to live after this day in the same high school. But this stuff needs to stop. School shootings need to stop. And people say it's the bullying problem. It's not a bullying problem. I'm going to say this right now. I'm going to say it right now on this podcast. Bullying is not the problem for school shootings. In order for you to stop a school shooting, you don't stop the bullying. Bullying's going to happen regardless. In high school, later in life, when you're an old lady, old man, you're going to get bullied. What has to stop for school shootings, and I'm going to say this on the Kris Cross Corner podcast, is to stop the guns. If the gun wasn't in there, 4 kids would still be alive today. Oxford High School does not have metal detectors or preventative measures to stop any type of weapon from getting into that school. Either it be guns, knives, or explosives. This could have easily been another Columbine. This could have easily been another Sandy Hook. This could have easily been another Mandalay Bay situation. Okay? So, of course, I feel for all the parents and all the kids and the relatives that had to get the call that their relative or son or daughter was killed. And we should never condone this behavior from anybody. Of course, bullying needs to stop. But like I said in the beginning, his home life was really, really not the best. And when you have a home life that's bad, you go to school, you're not accepted at school, you pretty much don't have anywhere else to go but, self-medicate, or in this case, take a gun to school and start shooting everybody. So I don't really want to talk about this any more than I have to, but we really got to stop these school shootings. This kid had a journal, a paper journal, and a cell phone journal of what he was going to do this day. So it was premeditated. It was terrorism, 4 counts of premeditated murder, and I don't see he's going to life in prison because Michigan doesn't have the death penalty. So, life in prison for this kid. I'm sorry. He's going to be tried as an adult, and he should be put away for the rest of his life. Let's talk about reducing school violence. So, you have to make sure that the students feel safe to talk to each other and to staff. Kids are at school for pretty much their whole day. Like 7 to 3, 7 to 4. That's pretty much the whole day. So there has to be trust, mutual trust and respect among teachers and staff. Also, there needs to be a good home life. A home where you could go home and be like, thank you, I'm home. Not a home like I gotta be here. Parents don't know about me. Parents don't care. And the things they were talking about, like my right to bear arms, I'm gonna get my revenge. That's not a good environment at home. So there has to be an ongoing dialogue and relationships with family and community members that interact with the school. So if anything happens before they get to that school with a gun, they're gonna be like, oh snap, what's gonna happen? And a lot of kids don't understand this. You think you have problems now. That people don't care about you. You're not seen, you're not heard. You're getting bullied. Once you bring a gun to school and start shooting people, your problems just got elevated 100 billion times worse. Because either you're gonna go to jail, depending on which state you're in, you're gonna go to prison for life, or you're gonna go to prison for life with the death penalty. Or, which I don't like to talk about this on the show, for most school shootings, they kill themselves, suicide, because they don't think about it until they actually do the stuff that they do, and then they like, oh snap, there's no way out, and then they should kill themselves. But we don't want them to do that. We don't want them to bring the gun to school. Okay? So the school climate has to be good. There has to be adequate support, training, resources for school staff to understand that this child has a problem. This child is going to have a problem. I saw this child do this, so this might mean that. And nip it in the bud, talk to them about it, let them understand that they're not going to be like, criticized, scrutinized, ostracized for their behaviors or what they're going through. It's normal. We're kids. Kids are going to be kids. Okay? Just make sure there's adequate support. Now, these healthcare settings, healthcare providers, mental health is critical nowadays. More people are going to therapists, getting their mental health more than ever before. So a cohesive and supportive school environment is key to preventing school shootings. Counselors, principals, teachers, the janitor, for Christ's sake, they can help your kid not bring a gun to school, bring a knife to school, start fights in school. And any teenagers or elementary school kids or college people listen to this podcast, know that if you need help, get help. Don't self-medicate. Don't let your feelings out by any other means of violence or physical, verbal abuse. Go get help. Please. Okay? Decrease isolation. Most of the kids in these school shootings are very isolated before they do what they want to do. So parents, please check on your kids every day. Let them know that you're there for them. Let them know that if there's a problem, that you can talk to them, and they won't be no judgment zone, judgment-free, Planet Fitness, judgment-free zone. Talk to me, okay? I'm about to have a kid in 4 months, and if she ever had a problem to the point where she was going to bring a gun to school, I would hope that I was in her life as much as I could be, to help her not do what she wants to do. She needs to come to me whenever she has a problem. She shouldn't be isolated, thinking that she can't do anything, that she'll have to the point where she has to bring a gun to school or kill somebody. Okay? So decrease the isolation, talk to your kids, make sure you have a great system, a great network of people to talk to, or, to get, to reduce the day-to-day, isolation, depression, and aggression. Okay? And of course, mental health. Get help. Most insurance plans have free mental health services, or a copay of like $35 or something like that. But please get that mental health in check. That should be all for today. We're going to be back with a more uplifting episode for our next episode. Just wanted to talk about what happened in Oxford. Again, I prayed for the families involved in this horrible, horrible incident. I pray for the family of the shooter, because they need prayer too. Okay? I pray for the shooter as well. I pray that he thinks about what he did. Killed 4 students, injured a teacher and several other students. And I pray for the students who had to witness someone get shot, or was in the rooms that he knocked on trying to get in. I pray for those students. Pray that they don't, live in fear of going to school or going out into the real world, because the real world is a scary place. It's a very scary place. And if you don't have the appropriate tools and, the network of people with you to keep you going throughout this life, it's going to turn out bad. or harder. I want to say bad, but harder. So I pray for everybody involved in this whole situation. The 15-year-old shooter should be put under the prison for life, gone. But this should not have happened. And I pray that stuff like this will never happen again. However, school shootings are, I don't want to say normal, but it's coming to be a normal thing. And we need to stop this. Schools around the country need to invest in cameras, metal detectors, not voluntary, but locker searches, more mental health, more counseling, psychologists, and we need to help our kids because they're the next generation. And I would hate to see another school shooting because these kids deserve to graduate and become productive citizens in the United States and around the world. So that's been another episode of the Crisscross Corner. Subscribe to the Crisscross Corner YouTube channel to get the live content from the great debaters, Kris and Kris, Only in Bigos, and the Guess That Song Challenge, which is coming back next year in 2022. Join the Crisscross Corner podcast Facebook group. As a member, you get to request topics to discuss live on the show. And you get to request topics from my top 10 list. So if you want to request a topic, you got to join the Facebook group. It's Crisscross Corner Podcast, okay? Go on Facebook, type it in. Support the podcast on Anchor with $5 a month at anchor.fm/crisscrosscorner/support. We get new podcasts every week on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. Again, subscribe to the Crisscross Corner YouTube page. We need more subscribers so I can get paid. Come on now. Shop crisscross.com. Get your free merch if you're a member on Instagram, Twitter, and the Facebook group. Get a free gift. And go to shopcrisscross.com, promo code Kris for free shipping. Again, that's shopcrisscross.com for free shipping. All right, y'all. Stay safe. Social distance because COVID is going back up. If you have mental problems or are struggling mentally, go get help. Mental health is key to a peaceful life. And be nice to each other.